Hello and welcome to week 8 of Introduction to Early Childhood Education. So congratulations on making it to the halfway point of this course. And so I am sure that you are going to find that the second half of the semester is going to fly by just as quickly as the first half has. So when we get to this week, you are going to be working on one of the most important assignments that you're going to do in this class, and that's the observation assignment. So if you are in the degree program, this is going to be one of the assignments that you need to hold on to for when you get to the portfolio. So the Activity Center project that you're working on right now, that's one of them. The observation assignment that you're going to be introduced to this week is another one. And then when we get to the schedule assignment, that's going to be one that you need to hold on to as well. So if you remember back from chapter 9, that's really where we started talking about the physical environment, and that's what your observation is going to be based around. So every single class that you take in this program is going to require you to do an observation. But each course is looking at something different. So for this course, you are actually going to be looking at the classroom environment. You're going to be seeing what centers they have, the interactions that you notice between the teachers and the children, a few health and safety issues that you're going to look at. But this assignment is actually based off of Eckers, which you should have become a little familiar with as you were working on your activity center. And so what we have done is we have compiled a list of qualities that we would hope to see in classrooms that are considered high quality, and that's what you're going to be looking for. Now, chapter 6 is the chapter that you're going to be looking at this week, and so it's going to be important for you to read that before you go and do your observation. So chapter 6 talks about observation and assessment in children. So when we think about observation, the most important thing to remember is that when we are observing, we have to make sure that we're being completely objective. Subjective means that it's our own opinion, but when we are observing, we want to be objective. And that means that we simply are reporting what we see. We are leaving out any judgments, any assumptions, any emotions, and we're just simply writing down what it is that we see, whether it's in the classroom, the behavior of a child. But that really is the main purpose of the observation. And as you start to look at the assessment piece, you're going to find that, especially when it comes to early childhood education, the best form of assessment is observation. We all know that standardized testing doesn't really give us the information that we need, but there isn't much that you can't learn about a child simply from observing them. And so that's why it's important to read this chapter before you go and do your observation. You are not necessarily going to be observing children in this observation, but it is important to understand that there should be a purpose behind why you are doing observation, that there's going to be some kind of analysis or goals that are going to be formed once you have done your observation. So make sure that you do a quick review of chapter 9. Remember, that's why I had you do the quiz, so that you really were solid in your foundational information about the physical environment, and read chapter 6. But I want to make sure that I explain how the observation is set up and the resources that are available for you. So when you go into Blackboard this week, you're going to see that we're talking about observation and assessment. And so I just found a few little quotes that reminds us that observation and assessment aren't normally words that teachers like to use, but hopefully you're going to find that what we are doing is actually developmentally appropriate. So when you go into this week's folder, you're going to see, again, chapter 6. The only participation that you have for this week is I'm asking you to send me an email. Especially as we are getting to the midpoint, I think it's important to reflect back on what you've already learned so far. And so all I'm asking you to do is just to send me an email about what has made the most impact on you so far. Continue working on your activity center assignment, and again, we're going to start with the observation assignment. So when you go to the observation assignment folder, you're going to find several different resources. So this is actually a recording that I did with my face-to-face class. So if you actually want to listen to the detailed instruction, you can do that here. When you click on this, it's going to ask you to sign in. Make sure that you log in with Blackboard. It's actually going to be the option up at the top of the screen that you see. But it should allow you to then be able to listen to the recording. This is a letter that you're going to want to take to the center where you're going to do your observation. It's my way of introducing me and you and the program and kind of laying the groundwork so that they understand that you're really only coming in to do observations so that you can learn for your own best practices, that you are not there to judge or to critique, and that this information is not going to be made public. So definitely make sure that you print that out and take it with you when you do decide where you're going to go. So speaking of that, if you have never had to do an observation before, I do have some resources in Blackboard for you. So when you go to course information, go down to this folder that says CHD documents. And within this folder, you're going to find some resources of where you can actually find some high quality centers. So this list right here is a list of centers that have been rated. Now, in the state of Virginia, we have something called Virginia Quality, and we're in the second version of it. So the first version of it had centers that were being rated, and that's what this one is. So this is the last list that came out of centers that were under the first version of the quality improvement system. But I think it's still a very relevant resource for you to have. The other place that you can look is here with the finding NACE accredited schools. And so if you click on this, it's actually going to take you to a page where you can type in the name of a center, a city, a zip code, and it will actually give you a list of the centers in that area that are NACE accredited. So as you know, our program is NACE accredited, which means that we have been tasked and found to be high quality, which means that our students are expected to do that as well. And that's why we ask that when students do their observations, they do them in a center that has already been identified as high quality. So NACE accreditation definitely counts. Being a part of Virginia Quality also counts. So that's the first two places that you want to go. If you go down to the bottom, you're going to find this is the latest list of centers that are participating in Virginia Quality. So if your center is on this list, under the NACE accreditation or the star rated center, then you're going to be good to go. So if you, again, have never had to do an observation, this is a great place to start. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to contact the center to make sure that it's okay that you come. So a couple of other things as we are looking at the actual observation assignment. So first thing to know is that you're probably going to be there about 2 hours, and you are going to probably want to do this during the morning. And the reason is that you're not going to see as much in the afternoon because a lot of the afternoon is taken up with nap. So I would definitely recommend trying to get in before lunchtime. I think that's going to give you the best opportunity to see everything that you need to see. So you're going to find a couple of other resources here. So this template, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, is what I went ahead and put together for you so that you can just type directly into it. The same chart that you're filling out is also in the observation assignment instructions. It's just I made it so that I took out all of the instruction pieces so that all you had left was the chart. So when you go into the instructions, you are going to find that, again, here, this is the table that you're going to fill out. But here's just a few things to know. Again, 2 hours, try and get in before lunchtime. Make sure that the center is considered high quality. But basically what you're going to be looking at is the classroom environment. There is one question about the playground, but I'm not asking you to spend a lot of time out on the playground. So when you look at the chart, you're going to find things that we have already discussed pretty much in Chapter 9, and it's also going to include the information that you've been learning about in your activity centers. So when you fill out your chart, please make sure you fill out all of this information because that helps me keep track of places that students have gone because we have really great partnerships with so many centers in the area. So make sure you put your name, the place where you went, whether or not they are participating in Virginia Quality, if they're NACE accredited, if they're STAR rated. If they are any of these, then they are also going to be licensed. When you started and finished your observation, the date that you went, and the age group of the children that you were in. But basically, you're just going to be looking at all of these indicators and documenting what it is that you see. Now, the most important thing that I can tell you is please do not answer this with yes or no, because that doesn't help you at all. And it doesn't show me that you understand what to look for and how to write up what it is that you observed. So in the folder for this week, not only is there a recording from when I went over it in my face-to-face class, but I also made a detailed PowerPoint for you. And so what I've done is every single indicator that is on that chart, I have made a slide that says this is exactly what you're looking for. So you are going to have to spend some time before you go into your observation reviewing these resources so that you know exactly what it is that you need to be looking for. Once you have completed your chart, make sure that it is so detailed that I feel like I was sitting right next to you. So again, you can't just get away with 1 or 2 word answer. This is your opportunity to kind of show me in words what it is that you saw in the classroom. But once you have completed the chart, do not forget that there is a summary paragraph that you need to write. And so if you look at the template, you're going to see that, again, I've taken out everything so that it's just the chart. But you're going to notice that I'm asking you for a conclusion. This is where you're going to synthesize and analyze the information that you put together in this chart. So I want to know what kinds of things they did well, what kinds of things would they need to make an improvement, and if you're saying they need to make an improvement, what would that improvement be? So this really is supposed to be a really great analysis of pulling all of this information together. So I don't just want a list of these are the things they did great and these are the things that they need work on. Try and go a little bit further and discuss this is why these things are great, and the things that I saw that they need to improve on, this is how I would actually recommend improving upon them. So just don't forget that concluding paragraph. That's part of the points that you can get, and so you just don't want to lose those points. So that really is the majority of what it is that you're going to be working on this week. So I would recommend going ahead and trying to set up a place where you can go. And even though you've got several weeks to get this done, you're not going to want to wait till the very end. So the sooner that you can get in, the better. And if you complete it before the due date, feel free to submit it in Blackboard because it helps me to keep up with grading as well. So I think that takes care of us for this week. So when we get to next week, we will be starting the second half of the semester. So have a great time with your observation. Keep working on those activity center projects, and I will see you next week.